up, guys? Chris19 here, and we'll be doing another first take video. So they know what I do every video. Shout out to them and say how to go look for their videos. So you look up ESPN, make multiple accounts to subscribe to them. If you just want to watch NBA 2018 playoffs, you go to down here. Oh no, they changed it. Here's the finals right there, 2018 NBA Finals. But you just want to watch regular first take, go under TV shows and ESPN, and it's right there, the first one. So we'll be doing Stephen A. Smith and Max react to the Warriors defeating Cavaliers in Game 2 of NBA Finals. Let's get right into it.
At this point, do you feel like the Cavs are about to get swept?
Looks that way.
You like that, huh?
I still hold out hope that LeBron James will get you one. You certainly don't want to look at a player of that magnitude and assume that he's going to go out like that. But right now, when you look at the Warriors, the way they're looking right now, it looks that way. It looks like they're about to sweep these boys out of here. And I'd be
It really does. It really does.
Miss and neglecting to point out the fact that I spoke to a couple of players, and they have every intention of sweeping this Cleveland Cavaliers team. They're not. And folks may or may not find this hard to believe, but there are times where you have a team. They're so superior, they don't worry about the competition at all. And then they pick and choose the locales in which they want to celebrate. Like the Cleveland Cavaliers won their first championship. I'm sorry, the Golden State Warriors won its first championship of this, two of the last three. The first go round, it was at the Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland. They wanted that championship, particularly last year at the Oracle. It's something special about being on your home court and closing the deal and capturing the championship. But then there comes a moment in time where there are other things that matter. And I think when you talk to the Golden State Warriors, yes, they believe they're the superior team. Yes, they believe they're going to win this championship. But they're looking at all the noise about LeBron. They're looking at the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they would not mind at all, even more so than winning at the Oracle and celebrating at the Oracle with his home fans. They wouldn't mind at all in ending all of this noise about LeBron James by sending him home with broomsticks. Make no mistake about it.
In front of his fans.
So when you look at it from that perspective, now you got to look at the game. First of all, I got on Kevin Durant in Game 1.
Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, guys, I am back.
I got on Kevin Durant in Game 1. Talking about he wanted no parts of LeBron James. Let me be clear. That was not the case in Game 2. He came out. And this is the interesting part. Notice that he had 26, 9 and 7 or whatever. You got to remember, he took 8 less shots. So I wasn't talking about shooting the ball more, whatever. I'm talking about playing your game, doing the things that you're accustomed to doing and making sure you remind everybody of the superstar that you are. He did that last night. Steph Curry exploded in the fourth quarter, 16 points in the fourth quarter, all 5 3-pointers he hit in the fourth quarter. Klay Thompson did his thing with 10 in the third, finished with 20 for the game. You got guys like Sean Livingston coming off the bench. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they looked lethargic from opening tap. They looked like they had not recovered, Max, from Game 1 at all. And on top of all of that, listen, I don't have a problem with J.R. Smith. I know people think that, Max, because of how we went back and forth earlier in the season. We've talked. Everything's fine. This is strictly basketball analysis. J.R. Smith's a good guy, y'all. Okay? Over the last...
The MVP?
Over the last...
You mean J.R. Smith, the MVP?
Over the last...
Oh, wrong for that.
Over the last 90 days to 2 months, I'm told he's been on his best behavior and been doing everything right. The problem is he waited until then to do that. That's not what you do when you're trying to be elite and you're trying to win a championship. It's gotten to the point now where his impotence is so flagrant. You have to bench him. Mm-hmm. You have to bench him. He's not giving you anything offensively. Yeah. Start Kyle Korver, bench J.R. Smith, put Rodney Hood in more. Desperate times call for desperate measures.
By the way, Korver should have been getting a lot of J.R.'s minutes this entire playoffs. He's been playing much better than J.R. Smith. Let me say this. Will the Cavs get swept? I think the answer is no. And I think the answer is no because we've seen all throughout these playoffs the Cavs play much better at home.
Yeah.
Why do they play better at home? Because the role players don't show up on the road. Now, the way this series has gone so far tells me probably should have been a 6-game series. I thought it maybe could be a sweep, but it probably should have been a 6-game series because the Cavs really should have won game 1. A lot of luck went against them in game 1. They could have stolen a road game. They didn't, and it was predictable they were going to lose game 2. I think now it's a 5-game series, and the game the Cavs win, game 3, backs to the wall. They got to win 1 at home. But the Warriors are such a superior team to the Cavs. It's not like this is close. I wonder who's going to win. Clearly, the Warriors are better. And why are they better? Because it is LeBron James playing with, other than Kevin Love, I'm going to get to him in a second, not a single other starting caliber player. Not one. George Hill played well yesterday. I like George Hill. Early in the first half, yeah. Earlier in his career, he was a solid starter. That's all. But a solid starter. That is not him now. J.R. Smith really has always been more of a sixth-man cast as a starter at times because teams needed it. Not really a starter. I'm sorry, guys. Look at the Cavs. There's not a single other player you say that's a starter on a championship team. Rotation pieces, yes. 7th, 8th guy on the bench, maybe even a 6th man. Rodney Hood, in a year or two, if he continues to develop or develops more like you thought, maybe like a year or two ago, that's a starting caliber player. But he wasn't a starter where he came from. He's not a starter on this team. So LeBron needs at least really another all-star, and then at least another starter or two. He doesn't have it, but he is so great that he is, and the role players showing it up at home means they'll win game 3, they'll get 1 at home, and you guys are going to close them out here in game 5. Could have been a little better series. Could have been a 6-game series. It's not. And by the way, the Cavs, I know ultimately it looked like a blowout. You never really felt like the Cavs could win the game. But they were in the game for a lot. Even in the third quarter where you're like, wait, the Cavs are down like 9, 10, 12 points. And here comes the third quarter from the Warriors. Ooh, it's a wrap. But they even hung tough in the third quarter for most of it. So they showed the ability. They could have won game 1. They hung around in game 2. They're good enough to win 1 at home. It's not going to be a sweep.
Alright guys, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. And Chris 19, out.